So this is a 2005 5 Series BMW. Here's an issue I've seen on this year and newer and V8s with this coated line here. As you can see, if you look inside, you can see that the sleeve here, as you can see, it's showing metal now, has broken and come off, and it's still sitting in there, and this is leaking fuel. And I've seen this on multiple cars before, and I'm going to show you how I fix it. As you can see here, I just pulled the sleeve out that ripped. So that used to be right here, and it breaks here and it pulls out and then doesn't seal anymore, and you get fuel leaks here. So I typically just fix these with a dual wall heat shrink, and this is what I have here. So essentially all we're going to do is select one that is the tightest fit, that fits over this line, which may be this one, and then we're just going to cut it to size and make sure that it doesn't protrude into the opening here. And we're just literally just going to heat shrink this on here, and with the dual wall, it's going to have the little bit of glue on the inside that's going to help it stick, and this will actually seal this and last. I have done this at least 3 times now, I think, and I have not had a single one come back leaking again. I did do one time. I don't know if it's a heat shrink or I messed it up when I put the line on that leaked. I took it off, redid it, and I got it right that time, and it never came back either. So none of the ones I've ever fixed have ever had any issues, and they've never come back for fuel leaks. They come back for other reasons, but they never leaked here again. So this will fix it. Otherwise, you're going to have to be replacing this whole line. So we're going to cut this to size and put this on here now. I believe this is the 1/4 inch size that I'm using. You can go just a little bit bigger. Obviously there's 6.4 millimeters non-recovered diameter. You might want it to be slightly larger, maybe 7. I mean, with a 3-to-1 shrink ratio, it would have come down, but I think 3/8 would have been too big. So anything below 8 millimeter will probably work if you have the 3-to-1 shrink ratio. So I stretched it out a little bit to get it to fit. The first piece I put on didn't fit well, so I cut another piece and pre-stretched it a little bit, and it slid right on. So now I'm going to cut off this extra right here, and right where the bevel is, I'm going to cut that all the way around, and then we're going to heat shrink it. Now you see, now I have it stripped back to just at the edge of the metal, and it's going to shrink back a little bit more when I heat shrink it. And then we're going to connect it on, and we'll see that there's no leak, hopefully. Now I'm going to use this, and while it is a flame one, we'll be using the heat piece, which does not put out an open flame. So hopefully no fires here, but I do recommend using a electric one when doing this for the risk of fire. Now this has been sitting here for a while, so it's pretty well dried up, but I'm gonna keep our distance, and we're gonna go ahead and shrink it. Make sure it's turned up. Obviously going to be kind of hard to get the shrink on the bottom, but we should be able to get there. Maybe a two-handed thing, the way I got to hold it. Right, so it's pretty well shrunk now. So what we're going to do now is going to let it cool off, because this heat shrink is going to be soft and pliable. If you try to put it on right now, it could likely just bend when it hits the O-ring inside the line and then pull back. We don't want that. So we're gonna give it some time to cool down, and then we're gonna come back and slide the line on, and we should be good to go. As it cools down, I'm gonna add some lubrication to the tip of it to make sure that the sealing O-ring inside the line doesn't catch the tip of this and roll this back when I push it on, and make it easier. Now that it feels cooled off and the heat shrink has hardened, we're gonna go ahead and clip our line on as straight as we can. I'm gonna use 2 hands so I don't mess it up. Okay, so it messed up, and this is exactly what you don't want to happen. And I think it was because I didn't, I cut off the sleeve, possibly a little too short. And you see, this is what happened when it catches. The sleeve will roll back like this, so we're gonna redo it and try again. Alright, so now you can see I got the new piece on, and I got just enough around the edge that it doesn't obstruct the hole, but it still follows a little small bevel on the line here. None of the metal is showing. You see here, covers the whole end of the line. So now we got a small bevel here, so we're gonna re-grease it and try to get this thing on. So now plenty of lube. Just gonna grab this, take 2 hands and try and put it on as straight as I can. Well, that didn't work. That crinkled up too. So I'm starting to think maybe it's this brand of heat shrink. Maybe it's too thick or something, because I've never used this one to prepare it before. So I'm gonna go get a different heat shrink and I'll be right back. Right, so I think what I used before wasn't actually adhesive lined. This one here on the outside, that's not adhesive lined. This one is, and you can see the thickness difference. And this is the original coating on the line. You see how thin it was. So I'm gonna switch to this non-adhesive line one. I feel like maybe that's what I used last time, because I did have this issue before. And then we're gonna go from there. Definitely fit on there better. I didn't have to pre-stretch it to get it on there. So we got it to where it just hangs on the bevel edge here, and it's gonna shrink back some when I heat it. Hopefully this will be the perfect solution we need. Again, this is the non-adhesive lined or non-dual walled heat shrink. Right, so now I got the non-adhesive lined one on there. It's a nice fit, nice curve here. Much thinner, about half as thick as the other one was. Hopefully this will fit better. This is taking entirely longer than I thought, but I figured I'd leave my failures in there. So, this is just how life is. We're gonna lube the tip of this one too, and then we'll see how it slides on. Yeah, so I think that was the issue. This one just slid on much smoother. I didn't have to force it or nothing. It just kind of like it popped over the O-ring and slid right on. And then now it's clicked into place. It's not coming back off. I heard the click. Now we're gonna go ahead and start it up and see how it does. Fuel pump should run when I open this door, I believe. And also when I turn the key on. We're just gonna double check and make sure it's not leaking right away. No sign of leak. Now we're gonna go ahead and crank it up. Whee. Seems like the starter doesn't want to work. And the battery's low or something. Let me get a jump box. Well, I got a jump box on it. Let's see if that makes a difference. No, of course not. I was told the only reason this came in was for the fuel leak, but here's it started doing something. Oh. The jump box got a bad connection, or what? Looks like we only got about 8 volts up here. We're talking. I think jump box might have had a bad connection. So, Guess the battery's dead too. Now let's try. There we go. Now let's check for that leak. Nope. No fuel leak. So we resolved that. See, here's the original coating that breaks off. So in the end, I ended up using a non-adhesive line because the adhesive line was too thick. And thinking about it now, because it's been a couple years since I've done this, I think that's what I ran into before. So you got to use the thinner non-adhesive line one. Just make sure you get a good connection and make sure you get right on the edge of the line. Should go on and not have an issue. I've never had one come back or leak again. And as you can see, this one isn't leaking either. Should be good to go. Hopefully this helps somebody out if they have a fuel leak. Should get you out of a jam. Save you from having to replace this entire fuel line. As always, your mileage may vary, and do this at your own risk. Cheers.